Welcome to the 2012 Secret U.S. Classic. Also a qualifying event. Aly, because of her World Championship status, she is already qualified for the Visa Nationals.
Well, this is one of her best events.
And really where she would punch her ticket. That's a new skill.
Oh. Wow, she was completely sideways as she came through. And looked like she had a chance to pull out the release move, but you could see she didn't have enough rotation, came almost straight down, just not able to hang on to that bar.
The first time that element, right immediately prior to the release skill where she fell, that's the first time that element has been done in women's gymnastics. A little bit of nerves, you know, right out of the box. She is first up.
Well, you know, everybody used to ask me, what event do you like starting on? You know, Tim, it doesn't matter. They're all hard to start on. You have so much adrenaline, hard to handle that pressure. And she knows this event is very important to Team USA.
And like I said, it is where, if she has a chance to make that Olympic team, it's because of the uneven bars. Her first year eligible to compete as a senior gymnast, you have to be 16 in the year of the games to be eligible to compete at the games.
She had a very successful junior year here at the U.S. Classic, but like I mentioned, nothing like being in this senior competition.
And right there.
And right there.
Right off the top, you saw her.
Every event has its difficulties to start out on. This one, by far, the toughest. There's so many connections right there, right to her flight series. The event that you can see that added pressure makes you doubt your landings.
Exactly.
Holding back, not pulling up and finishing.
And that really is the whole deal. It's on balance beam. You cannot be afraid. It has to be attack mode, and you cannot doubt yourself. And she just looks a little bit cautious.
She has beautiful lines and elements. Had a couple of those balance checks on the landings.
And a little bit long there, too,
little
as well.
hesitation. You know, I was asking some of the coaches, you know, what are they looking for? What do the judges need? And they said it's not just connected. It's rhythm, it's speed. Everything's got to flow at the rhythm they need. Finishing out, though, double tuck, great landing.
Great landing. Gold medal team in Tokyo. So she is world champion for the rest of her life, wants to add the title of Olympian, and it all starts right here. And they had some errors, and the Chinese were just too prepared. Chellsie Memmel, once again at that competition, immediately prior to the event, she injured herself, was only able to contribute to the team on the uneven bars. And
wow. You know, they've all been here before. They've come back. They've been out on the floor. But I'm telling you, the level of pressure that I have felt this weekend amongst the athletes and even the coaches has shown in the workouts. And there again, I mean, that's not normal for Chellsie. She's one of the most fearless competitors I've ever seen.
And this is just a disaster right here. I have seen Chellsie Memmel's gymnastics not go well because her body betrayed her, but I have never seen her fail under the pressure, and this looks like it is just a pressure situation that a little bit too much.
When we had a chance to talk to Chellsie, she just felt like she knows this is her only chance to continue to be a gymnast, and we both know that it does end, and once you totally finish, you never get back, and that is what's keeping her motivated, keeping her.
Yep, and that was close right there. His very tricky leap sequence, and this is it for Chellsie. She's only doing one event tonight, just the dismount remaining.
Finishing double pike.
From Cincinnati Gymnastics. You ever heard of that, Amanda? Oh, you see that foot stepping out of bounds. That is a 10th, at least for the step, and a 10th for going out of bounds. Of talk and chat about Marta Karolyi, who actually is really the head of the selection committee. She's the national team coordinator, likes this young lady, likes her lines.
She has that world-class look, beautiful toe point extension, almost every skill she does. But walking into this world as a first-year senior is a lot of pressure. Handled it well there on her release move.
And really, we haven't seen anybody yet handle it completely.
Nice pike Jaeger.
Toe point reminds me of a gymnast that they trained, Courtney McCool. Little bit low on that landing.
And a little bit.
Jaw dropping great. And right now, there is nobody in the world that can do this vault like she does it.
I never thought I would be saying somebody would be doing Yurchenko 2.5, 16 years ago. Oh. Wow.
16.1 from Maroney on her first vault. Very nice. Because of this one event, the uneven bars, she's world class here, made the finals at the World Championships, and this routine is actually much better and harder than she showed in Tokyo.
Well, she is so dynamic on this event. Tremendous height. Right here, huge Tkachev in the pike position.
Beautiful.
My heart just starts beating.
And she'll do this combination. This is great. And watch, right transition to the low bar. Beautiful. There are few people that you can say if they just do their job, they are on the Olympic team. If she does her job, wow, she's going to London.
Well, that is a great fire to prove to everybody that she can come back. Only competing on 2 events here, of course, the balance beam, and we'll also see her on the uneven bars.
And those are the only 2 events that she'll compete at all. They're a big test for her. Handles it well. When she came back from the injury, she was still planning on doing at least 3 events. But she and her coach, Aly Raisman, have decided that her best shot to earn a ticket to London is as a modified specialist, doing only balance beam and uneven bars.
Well, Tim, we watched her in the practices, and she had some struggles on this event. You can see her doubting her landings a little bit. The biggest struggle of all, though, is going to be the dismount. Switch ring, difficult landing there. Anytime you take your eyes off the beam like that, can't see it as you're landing. Hard to keep your balance.
And this is just a very nervy balance beam routine. And she is not inexperienced by any means, has competed in a couple of different world championships.
Well, you can see she just took a very deep breath right there. There's a lot of skills packed into it, but this is the hardest one of all. Finishing round off double Arabian.
Oh, jeez. And that was not Aly Raisman, of course, teammate of Alicia Sacramone, who was a member of that 2008 Olympic team, and herself trying to make a comeback from a torn Achilles tendon.
Wow. I've seen her do that. I've never seen her stay in the bounds.
Crazy difficult. Right here.
She said just stepping back out on this podium, she forgot. It felt like she forgot until she got through a couple turns.
Here we go. It's actually a great way for Nastia to start because she is just rock solid.
And she moves so fluidly throughout this entire routine. This is new, very difficult. Switch half right to an nodi, doesn't stop there, connects it right into an immediate jump. She struggled on the connections in the workouts and even the warm-up. That was pretty solid. A little slow, though.
A little bit slow, but exactly where she wants to be. This is nice. Nice slow turn, and then really changes the pace there.
She looks solid. I know we mentioned she almost felt like she didn't know what she was doing, but I'll tell you what, that green flag went up, and this is who we're used to.
Really her biggest test, like her teammate Rebecca Bross, is going to come on the dismount. She's had some struggles with this in training, but we saw her do a couple of them this morning for the first time in Chicago, and they were great. Right here.
This is the test right here.
She'll do a round off and a back somersault with 2.5 twists.
All right.
No problem. That is Wieber. It'll be our first look at her today, starting on the uneven bars. And really, if there's a place where Jordyn isn't rock solid, it's the uneven bars. And she has struggled here in Chicago.
With that right there.
And that is a mistake right there.
Came up a little short. That was supposed to be a full twist. Good save, but she's starting to, you can see, have some more breaks there. She's got to get it together, hold it together.
Yeah, this is, she has really not looked anywhere near her best on the uneven bars. I talked with her coach, John Getter, and he said, we're not supposed to be ready at this point in time.
I was just going to say, for these athletes, this is a long haul.
Part of that amazing team that had to deal with so many injuries. Alicia Sacramone going down right before the competition began, and a lot of young new kids like Sabrina. They just took it and ran and did a phenomenal job. Was really the table setter, and what a save.
She looked a little short on the first pirouette sequence she did, and then came up short there, but really turned, not only saved it, but directly connected into those release moves. Very important.
But like I keep saying, This was a young lady who was on that world team, and yes, she's good on bars, but it's a place where the USA is weak, and that's why Gabby Douglas' bar routine is such. Harmony Barroutian. They are no strangers to the Olympic floor. Taryn Humphrey, Courtney McCool, they're athletes. Taryn Humphrey actually is the athlete representative who's on the Olympic selection committee.
Wow, beautiful.
Very nicely done. Maybe doesn't look all that difficult, but rest assured.
The simple full turn is difficult.
Wow, and that was close. Almost came off the beam.
Two back handsprings right into a 2-foot layout. She has beautiful skills.
Nice job with that.
See that flexibility and extension through her legs really makes a difference on those leaps. For an aerial.
Whoa, she was way under rotated on that.
I'm starting to think there might be something wrong with the balance beam. People really doubting those landing positions. Solid there, though. Two back handsprings, right to double pike.
And just really nice start for her. Also a little bit tentative on beam. But she has that international look, according to Marta Caroli. I'll tell you, one of the things she does so well, she has one of the most difficult floor routines in the world, and this is one of those vaults that has that potential 16-5 start score. Huge. I think that's the best. Even bars. Balance beam is a place where last summer at the Visa Championships we saw her really somewhat self-destruct, and many people thought she took herself out of contention for the world team right at that point, but is really fabulous on this event as well.
Oh, come on.
And that right there, grabbing the beam.
Wow.
A huge, huge deduction. Big test here. Back with a full.
She had incredible rhythm on the connection. It looked like she was just right in that zone and then came up on that landing and just doubted herself. Now you can see her regrouping, commanding those arms right into the right position.
Yeah, because the acrobatic element looked fine. And then all of a sudden, she just didn't finish.
You know, this event is more a mental game than anything else. They do more numbers on this event. They train this event beyond what most people can imagine. And then comes competition, and something you've done all the time. It takes a millisecond of doubt and boom, that's what happens. Beautiful switch ring there. I've seen a few of them all day. She not only hit 180, solid landing as well.
Dismount to a double pike right here. She's been a little short on this a couple of times in training. Pulls that around, and the other day that I saw her do the second best vault I've ever seen done. She also does that Aminar or 2.5 twist like we saw from Raisman or Maloney. Does it great though, huge power.
Wow. You can see a little offset.
Almost 2 points in execution deductions. The biggest part of it coming from grabbing the balance beam.
Now on ball for Capital, Mackenzie Brannon.
Full twisting back handspring. Solid landing. I mentioned when I had a chance to talk to Anna during a workout, she just was like talking to one of the younger gymnasts with her excitement level of adding new skills, and one of those on this event, she's hoping to dismount this routine with a double tuck. Solid flight series there.
So really, thus far though, we have only seen Nastia Liukin on balance beam be rock solid. Everybody else has showed a little bit of tentativeness. This is a good exercise, but this, unfortunately, the balance beam is not where Aly punches her ticket to London. That comes on the uneven bars, and that opportunity is gone. Getting ready for that dismount that you talked about, Amanda. Never competed this before, right?
Never competed this before. Round off double tuck.
Come on now. Easy.
All right.
Big step backwards, but
we don't see that happening with Team USA. This has been an unusual competition, but literally in the all-around, it could come down to the athlete that stays on and nails their routine.
Well, one thing Marta Caroli wants is she wants consistent athletes, and especially on the beam, and that right off the top. Some of these leaps, they don't look like an acrobatic skill like that. That leap is actually much more difficult than...
We've seen a lot of mistakes on the leaps and jumps, but so far it seems like the first 1 to 2 skills is where we're seeing the mistakes. And I remember being that athlete, you get up there and your heart is racing and you can't get your breath calmed, and it's hard to get in the zone because you're feeling so much pressure to prove you can be consistent. You can just see that element of doubt in almost every skill she's doing.
That was a nice sequence right there, but really the first half of this routine, just tons of little deductions. For someone like Sabrina Vega, it is all the audition process.
Yeah, Marta said this particular competition is like a dress rehearsal for the big show, but we all know every skill, every routine, every competition, even every workout matters at this point.
Once again, a balance check right there. Balance beam has been just brutal on the athletes today. A nice landing, but her first year as a senior, she had a good birthday. that means that she's eligible to compete in the Olympic Games. If you don't turn 16 the year of the Games, you don't get to go. tell you, this young lady right here is having a showcase of an event. Both scores comfortably in the 15s. But if there is a place, as we've said, that Aly struggles, it's definitely on the uneven bars. And if an Aly Raisman makes a team, that means that they need those extra bar workers. You see some form here.
Well, and she was supposed to connect those elements. But the big thing that gets her on this event, Tim, is that form. Almost every skill, you see that small leg separation right there.
Really doesn't have the toe point that the judges are looking for. It's just messy, a little bit messy, and they know it.
Finishing double front.
But for Aly, that's the process, and so far, Gabby's got one solid under her belt and one tentative. Steps out of bounds. She had a couple of little hiccups, half twists, and she has been good today, but not as great as she can be. She needs to knock this one out of the park.
Oh. You could see as she came onto the table, she was off center with that.
McKayla Maroney on the balance beam. Of course, we saw her be almost flawless on the vault. Gabby Douglas scored a 14.7 on the floor exercise. Sarah Finnegan, a 15.2. Huge number.
Oh, no. That was actually her flight series element. She looked like she had a strong connection and then completely stopped right there, flip lay.
And then she went back and repeated. Very nice. Another one of those more difficult than it looks leaps, as is that one.
Beautiful. I can tell you that Marta is already planning how we're going to make sure that these athletes handle the pressure on this event. All of these girls have beautiful skills, lots of difficulty packed into these routines.
But bluntly, beam has not been good.
No.
If there's an event where everything can go all wrong so quickly, it's balance beam right there, so easy. And just balance check, questions, doubts.
And she also got time, finishing double pike.
The fall on the uneven bars, and a good routine for her on balance beam, but certainly not great.
Well, this is the event she was most excited to get back out and compete and really put on a performance.
off. Way under-rotated on that first acrobatic element, and huge deduction, and also a big point loss because she wasn't able to do the skill that she was supposed to. Wow.
Well, you know, I talked to her before the competition, and she said, you know, it is so hard to hang with the energy of the
decades. Will she be mad at me for that? Probably. Well, here we go.
Now on floor exercise.
Nice combination there.
Kennedy Baker.
Looking for handstands, though. Everything needs to finish right in the handstand. That one good.
A little close in on that catch.
Oh, and once again,
just didn't get a full push down on that bar on such an easy skill.
Huge deduction. We've seen athletes that Marta Karolyi hoped she could count on this treacherous event, the balance beam. Jordyn had the rough start. Let's see how she deals here.
Wow.
Perfect.
She looks like she is ready to not just handle the pressure, but to deliver.
It's really difficult.
Right here. Standing full. Connected to that back handspring. There wasn't a wobble, but it was a slow connection.
And I'll tell you, you know, at the World Championship, she wasn't error-free. She struggled on bars like she did here today. Went up on balance beam and did a routine just like this. Just was rock solid. Finished on floor exercise and placed just a minuscule above Victoria Komova of Russia.
Little balance check there.
But really, this is a super solid exercise from Jordyn Wieber. Just the dismount.
2.5, little close to the end of the beam there, but after the leg injury, it's just been about getting strong enough to be back on these two events, the uneven bars and balance beam, this one being the most important.
Yeah, bars is her ticket. And right here, one of her big tests, beautifully done.
Lots of combination work up here.
Just gotta stay on the bar right here. Very nice.
Beautiful combination. She's really coming out of those pirouetting skills and locking the position out, hitting the angles.
Sticks this landing, and do not count Rebecca Bross out.
Rebecca Bross of Loga on an even.
Attack this event like she does. Start to finish, lots of power, very aggressive tumbling skills, leaps, and of course even just her dance movements. Tumbling series, incredible height. You can see her rotation completely all the way around when she lands.
So what Marta has to do, and the selection committee. They have to come up with a team of 5 gymnasts, one less than has ever been, well, in modern times at the Olympic Games. And they've got to find 3 incredible workers on each event. And so far, this would be the 3rd balance beam routine, because we have seen 2 really good ones and a lot of shaky ones.
All that's left is the dismount. She does one of the toughest dismounts in the book, that round off double Arabian.
Difficult.
Excellent.
Like a walk in the park.
Here at the U.S. Classic was really important for her to be a contender, to do all 4 events, and it's been an okay day, but nothing that she is capable of yet.
Right. A lot of flight on her bar routine, and she really does take her time. And nice transition from
very
low to high.
difficult.
Yeah.
Adding in that half twist. Great reach there on that Jaeger.
Excellent handstand position.
Almost every skill she does shows that beautiful line. Something very important in that side of the execution score. Finishing double layout. Beautiful landing. That's been the key for her on
Nationals.
We talked about the pressure of all 3 of these competitions. Honestly, this one sometimes is the toughest. Getting out here and having that Olympic pressure on you and getting it started.
And I'll tell you, like Kyla Ross. Okay, all right.